In the face of darkness, I stand tall and strong. With faith as my shield, I'll keep marching on. You may try to bring. Hey, what up, everybody? I hope all of y'all is having a blessed and humble day. Afternoon. Continue to have a blessed and humble day. This y'all, Shorty Racheal. I want to welcome all of y'all to the Writers for Life brings you the Let's Talk About It podcast. Yo, we're going to be talking about our schools today, right? How much do we know about what's going on in our schools, right? I'm hoping that we can get through this whole, video that I got here for the Philly School Board. But before we get to that video, right, we're going to be reviewing and reacting to some videos, right? Oh, where's my little playlist? We're going to be reviewing and reacting to some videos about the things that have been going on in our schools, right? I don't know how many of y'all have been watching the news. I don't know how many of y'all been, reading the newspaper, staying, in close contact with the community meetings and much more, right? But there is a lot going on from, a lot of lashback from the LGBT community, from more teachers getting arrested, right? For sexually assaulting kids and immigration issues, right? It is a lot going on, right? So we're going to watch a couple videos right before we get into the Philadelphia School Board meeting. And let's get this joint started. All right, I apologize for that, guys. All right, so let's get this started, right? I don't know how many of y'all know about what's going on in the schools, right, with our school district, right? I've even heard rumors, right, and there are rumors, right, that Trump wants to dismantle, right, the Board of Education. I don't know how true that is, right? One of the things that I think is crazy is how he has Hillary McMahon, right, in charge of the Board of Education. That right there has me baffled in the head, for real, for real. So let's get these videos started so that we can get to the reviews and reactions to the school board meeting here in Philadelphia, right? For those of y'all that don't know, Shorty is from North Philadelphia, and I do, I am a leader of my community here in Philly. Blessings, the Dark Lake. Hope you well too. Thank you for asking. I appreciate that. So the first video we're going to be watching is New York School Board meeting descends into chaos over LGBTQIA plus book as a big group of parents take over. There's a couple videos surfacing, right, about how, right, the school board meeting in New York City went sideways, right? Everything went to the left because parents were fighting, right, against a book that is put in our schools, right? We're in 2025, right? A lot of parents have been fighting this. It's been a hassle, right? Trying to reach people, but apparently, allegedly, right? Trump has a solution for that, right? That's what they're saying, right? So how is it that in 2025, right, after Trump came into office, signing that piece of, did he sign a paper? I know he signed a paper for there not to be no, how can I say it? No, it's crazy to say no transgender men in the women's bathroom. I know he signed that, but is that policy that he signed? Does it also go towards the books that are being yeah, because he signed it for the bathrooms, the locker rooms, everything. But does that include the books what our kids are reading? Is that included in the curriculum? So let's get these videos started and let's see what's happening.
In upstate New York have taken over a local school board meeting, demanding answers over an LGBTQIA plus book being used in elementary schools.
Damn.
The controversial title, The Rainbow Parade, a celebration of LGBTQIA plus identities and allies, features graphic depictions, including a naked figure shown from behind, images of furries, and a gay couple in leather BDSM attire, designed to encourage students to, quote, break down stereotypes and embrace diversity. However, many
Why they got naked people walking in the street? I know there's a city that does that. I don't even know what city it is, but I know. I mean, do they have naked parades in Philly? Not that I know of. Snap! Like, what the hell is going
Parents
on?
believe such content is wholly inappropriate for children in grades 1 through 5. At the meeting in a Monroe County auditorium, one parent, John Feathers, sharply criticized the material, saying, quote, "If you think that that's appropriate for children to see, then there's something wrong with you, and you need to have a
You ain't
mental
right.
evaluation." He pointed directly to the book's images, adding, quote, "You can see the guy's butt clearly out, and then there are two guys standing in bondage." Superintendent Tasha Potter attempted to calm the situation by referring to the proper procedures for filing objections, but her comments were met with overwhelming boos from the crowd. One parent filmed the dramatic scene, exclaiming, quote, "It's our board meeting. We pay you."
Yes, we are going to go into a recess. Can I have a motion? Thank you. We are in recess.
Okay, so she's a chick that, they were saying that ended. Okay, so she was the reason why they ended that board meeting fast as hell. But here's my thing, right? These are schools. These are little kids. And I don't get tired of saying this on my channel. I don't care what channel I'm in or what panel I'm on. Even here in these streets, I don't get tired of saying it. I don't care about your sex life, right? I don't care what your sex preference is. What you do between them four walls, that closed door, and between them sheets is between you and that person. I don't care if you're into the same sex, right? But my thing is, leave the kids alone. Don't make them. It's happening. It's happening. Can we make a change? Can we make a difference? I think that depends. That depends on us, on each individual, how we handle this situation. But I feel as though that we don't need to be putting these things into our kids' heads. We need to be having conversations with our kids. And at the end of the day, it's only really two sexes, right? It's only two sexes. A man is a man, a woman is a woman, right? A woman can give birth, a man can't. Now, the man can plant the seed, right, in the woman for the woman to sit here and be able to give birth, yes. Unless you're a hermaphrodite. And I'm not saying, listen, that'll be a topic for another live, guys. But I'm hoping that y'all understand, like, it's too much of this going on. And it's grown as adults out here. Then they can't even sit here, right, and come to, how can I say, come to an agreement, right? They can't even disagree. They can't even agree to disagree. They can't come together to figure out the solution. And these are all adults. But yet, when I go to a lot of these meetings, I see a lot of these kids with great solutions. Why aren't we listening to, they're in these schools every day. Why can't we hear, and see what it is that, is needed in their schools? But maybe I'm tripping.
As tensions escalated, school officials eventually called the meeting to a close without hearing further public comments. Footage of the contentious meeting quickly went viral, drawing even reactions from high-profile figures. Notably, Department of Government Efficiency Chief Elon Musk shared a brief comment on social media, simply stating, quote, "a kindergartner." The Penfield School Board has not yet issued a response to the incident. This incident has ignited a fierce debate over the appropriateness of school materials and the balance between promoting diversity and protecting young children from content many parents find objectionable.
I thought Elon Musk don't believe in diversity. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping. Let us know what y'all think about this meeting. About this video. Do y'all think it's appropriate to still have these books in these schools in 2025? Right? And how do we get the school board, the people in the school board to listen to the parents out here within our communities? And how do we get more parents together so they can listen? Because what we really need is more parents. And I got to give a shout out to all these fathers out here that have been coming to the school board meetings, right? It doesn't matter where y'all at, man. Shout out to the daddies out there, man. They got their boots on, strapped tight, and they're going out there fighting for their kids, yo. Hand in hand with these women, yo. I'm telling y'all, and that's what we're going to have to do. So shout out to those, right, that are leading by example, and those that, are sitting here and just pushing and like pretending like they don't, need that support and that help. Man, I don't know what to tell y'all. For real. But let me go on to the next video, y'all. All right, so these videos are a little bit mixed up. We got a Texas charter school arrest. Principal teacher criminally charged for child grooming. We have a whole principle, and I don't get tired of saying it. Do I got the link right here? All right, I'm almost there. I don't get tired of saying it. I'm about to drop the link to my petition down here, right? Guys, listen, man, sign that petition. Let's get these cameras into our schools, right? I also have it down below, right in the description box. I'm trying to see why can't I. Let me see. Something's not right here. But yeah, sign that petition, right? So we can get more cameras into our schools. Why should we put all this trust in the hand of complete strangers for 8 hours a day, 5 days out of the week, right? I feel as though that the majority of these teachers, before they get hired, they should do some type of evaluation to see if they're mentally capable of being in an atmosphere full of children. It is too much going on, from the bullying to the kids taking their lives to the fighting to the arguments, right? The misunderstandings from the kids to the staff to the kids, to the grooming and sexual assaults in our schools. It's about time we come together and do something. I'm hoping this principal doesn't walk free. Oh, y'all see what happened with Teacher of the Year, right?
And Lauren, the investigation into these charges is...
Blessings, Hawkeye. Welcome. How you doing tonight? I mean, today. It's still afternoon. Yeah, I said tonight like it's nighttime. That's why I can't wait to go to bed. I ain't going to sleep yet. But you know what? Let's play this video, yo, because I got to look for the link to this petition.
Is ongoing. 3 people have been arrested. Others have been placed on administrative leave. As you mentioned, this is happening here at Newman International Academy, the Gibbons campus. This is a charter school here in North Arlington. On February 6th, Academy police officers arrested Rule Barbie on a charge of improper relationship with a student. Barbie was reportedly an educational aide here at the Gibbons campus. Days later, Gabrielle Little turned herself in on a charge of child grooming. It's not clear what position she held in the district. Barbie and Little have both been fired. The third arrest came yesterday. Officers with this charter school district arrested Richard Adams, the principal of Gibbons campus, on multiple charges, including failure to report abuse. Police have not released details about the allegations, only saying the arrests came after interviews with educators and students, along with physical evidence. On the day of the first arrest, February 6th, the school district placed Principal Adams, as well as the campus athletic director, head varsity girls basketball coach, and an assistant football coach on administrative leave with pay until the criminal and internal investigations are completed. The district's police chief is reportedly meeting with parents today to talk about this situation. The Newman International Academy Gibbons campus serves middle and high school students, grades 7 through 12. In North Arlington, Dan Godwin on Good Day.
Did you know you can access Gordian?
Here's one thing. What can we do, right, with these type of situations? I'm hoping this principal doesn't walk away like a lot of teachers, a lot of principals have. My thing is, right, I'm trying to find a solution to try to prevent this. And one of mine is, like I've said already, I got 2 solutions, right? Let's try to get these evaluations done, right? Deeper backgrounds, right, on these teachers before they get hired. Unfortunately, we're going to have to start doing this if we care about our kids. Like, at the end of the day, right, they're sitting here and we're supposed to trust them with our kids, but we don't know nothing about them and what they're capable of doing with our kids. So something has to get done. It's too much of this going on. We got the petition right down below to put more cameras in each and every one of the classrooms, right? Nationwide, right? If you have a zip code, you're able to sign that petition. Let's get cameras into these schools. I'll be the one speaking in the school board meeting and whatever community meeting that I have here in Philadelphia. But this is a petition that I'm taking directly to the school board meeting, right? Before I do that, I have to present it to one of the one of the senators, right? And the one that deals with the Board of Education. So, right, I'm trying to get this done nationwide. I'm hoping that more parents come together and do the same thing that I'm doing in whatever city and state that they're in, right? Because that will, how can I say, that would make the process go faster, right? It's been a minute since I've talked on this, right? Because I've been so caught up out here in these streets, right? Trying to do what I gotta do. But this is actually needed. Like, it's too much going on. It's too many stories coming out in the news, right? Too many kids coming forward, right? And it's good that the kids come forward, but with accusations of sexual assault from whichever staff, whether it's a teacher, a counselor, a principal, right? Even security, right? Sexual assault on these kids. And the majority of the time, these teachers, these predators get to, walk free. They get a little pat on the back. Nothing really gets done. Where's the justice in that? So it's time to start doing something. So I've got two solutions, right? Like I said, more parents coming together. I would love to hear y'all solutions, because a shorty doesn't have a problem standing in front of one of these legislators, saying and demanding what she needs and wants for these kids. We keep saying that they are the key to our futures. We keep saying that their safety matters. But every time that something like this, happens, or something needs to get done to solve the, problem, hey, everybody turns a cheek. How many cheeks do y'all got for somebody to try to kiss before y'all end up seeing that we're going to have so many caskets out here? We're going to be burying caskets no longer than 3 feet out here, yo. For real, for real. It is too much.
Job order.
Boston, this week's day
against President. Why did they do that?
From the Bay Area.
All right. So let us really know what y'all think about that clip, right? We're going to move on to the next video. Student absences on day without immigrants cause school states funding. So apparently what is going on with the immigration, right? ICE sending a lot of the migrants away from the United States to whatever, country they came from, right? Is affecting the school costs in the United States, right? We knew it was going to happen, especially with the jobs. And what's crazy is that in America, I don't know. I'm not going to speak for everybody, but I do know that in general, the majority of the people, and I'm going to say like almost 90% of the people, where that other 10% that are willing to work the job that an immigrant does, I don't know. But the majority of the people is not willing to work for that, pay rate, my bad. So let's be real. A lot of them, majority of Americans are lazy as hell.
To Boston, this week's Day Without an Immigrant aimed to send a very direct message to the Trump administration. Workers stayed home, students didn't go to class to protest the immigration enforcement action across the country. But the protest also led to collateral damage, including the hit that local schools took with so many kids skipping class. NBC Bay Area's Damian Trujillo is in San Jose with that story.
School districts across the state are still doing the math, but the loss in state funding for one day is huge. And administrators worry there's another loss that directly impacts students. Tens of thousands of students across the country stayed home on Monday, an act of protest against President Trump's mass deportation plans.
It's important for them to see what's going on in today's world, and that it's not right, and that they actually have a voice.
School districts certainly heard the protesters' message loudly. That's because some state funding is tied to attendance rates. In San Jose's Franklin McKinley School District.
Exactly. Everybody on a chair means more money for the schools. Like, I don't know, y'all keep it. I think that's why Biden did that truancy thing when he was in office, and it hurt a lot of parents, yo, for real, because you got so many parents out here, right? Either the parents are sick or the kids are sick, and he did this whole thing with the truancy there, like y'all left the parents with no choices, no nothing. Like, now they can't even discipline. Some parents don't give a fuck. Like, fuck it, man, give me the fine, I'll do the time when I come back home. But shit, you heard what they said. By 2025, it's going to be, they're going to be using the schools to allegedly. That's a rumor, though. See, that's a he say, she say. So I can't really be 100% sure about that. They can consider that a conspiracy theory. But what would happen if, DHS through the school starts taking people's kids, saying that this is allegedly happened. Are the parents going to start coming together then? Then my question will be why? Why did it take y'all this long?
1,611 students were out, well above the district's average sick rate. Those absences mean the cash-strapped district, which is debating school closures, lost roughly $128,000 in state funding. In the nearby Alum Rock School District, the numbers were even worse. 2,900 students were out, adding up to a loss of roughly $250,000 in state funding.
Any day that a student is not in school, that takes money away from the school district.
The Silicon Valley Education.
So are you saying there's more migrant students in our schools than what there is actual American students in the school? Is that what your math is adding up? I'm just asking I'm just asking a question, right? Curiosity killed the cat, I know. But I'm very curious on what you're trying to say right now.
Foundation says the state is working to change the school funding formula from average daily attendance to simple overall enrollment numbers. But Alum Rock says they're also worried about the loss of class time. On Monday, the district estimated those absent students accounted for 890,000 minutes of lost instructional time.
When kids are in school, we aim to provide historical context and the academic preparation for them to be future leaders. And when they're not in school, they miss that.
Alum Rock's assistant superintendent says there's also a concern about some children who were left alone at home and others not getting the daily school meals. The Education Foundation sees that concern, but says on the other hand, those students learned an important civics lesson on Monday.
It's crazy. He just said on some students not, getting their daily meal because I guess some students, go to school and that's where they eat. And it's unfortunate, right, that some kids got to go through that, where school is the only place where they actually do get a meal because they can't afford to eat at home. That's crazy, but this is the world for y'all, man. I don't know where some people be at, but I think they need to come down, right, to reality, get out of Peter Pan's land real quick and, surface. Like, we got to stop pretending that we're Ariel for a second, come out to sea.
A hands-on lesson that can't be taught in the classroom.
Sometimes the best classroom is not in the four walls of a school, but out with parents, out with others, learning about what it means to be an active citizen.
Cristina Garcia agrees, saying on Monday her kids learned how to stand up for what they believe in, even if it came at a cost.
It's a small price to pay, right? For a bigger cause.
Damian Trujillo, NBC Bay Area News.
The city school chancellor.
But that's crazy because if they still flagging them flags like that, they need to stop, because didn't Trump say something about that? Damn, let us shorty know what y'all think about that situation. But it is crazy, right? How without bodies on a chair, right, in these schools won't get no funds. And I was looking into that, right, on how the schools got started. It's crazy. It's a deep rabbit hole y'all got to go down. It's an interesting one, too. Like the school lunches, how they began with them and everything. Yo, back in the days was crazy as heck. Let me see. But let us really know what y'all think about that situation, right? Damn, I'm stuck still. Like, is they trying to tell us that there's more migrant kids in the schools than there is, American kids? And I'm talking about even legal, legal migrants. Y'all telling me there's more migrant kids in our schools than what there is legal migrants and Americans in these schools. And y'all heard me say legal migrants, right? Because like I keep telling everybody, there's a right way to do this and there's a wrong way to do this. And so far, man, a lot of them chose to do it the wrong way. And it's not like they was running from something. The majority of them wasn't. The majority of them was. It's crazy. But let us surely know what y'all think about that. We're going to move on to the next video, right? Leave your comments down below. We have NYC schools counselor urges immigrant parents not to keep their kids home. Oh, it's the same thing. This one has to do with the New York gotta have a lot of immigrant kids.
Is urging immigrant families not to keep their kids home. The city school chancellor is urging immigrant families not to keep their kids home from school. It comes amid outrage and confusion over whether the city will allow ICE agents to enter schools, churches, and hospitals. Lisa Rosner is here with the latest on that. A lot of people are really confused about the city's position. That's right. And, you know, New York is a sanctuary city. That is supposed to limit the city's ability to cooperate with ICE. But some are saying a memo sent to city agencies goes too far.
Who protects us? We protect us.
The New York Immigration Coalition and Make the Road Action joined around 20 lawmakers on the steps of the Tweed Courthouse Sunday.
This mayor has been running amok of this city for too long. That's right. All for his own self-interest. He's enabling Trump's mass deportation machine by sowing confusion.
They say confusion over this internal memo CBS News New York obtained last week. It was sent by the mayor to city agencies before Trump's inauguration and says if federal immigration agents, ICE, come knocking, it directs employees to ask officers for their name and badge number, ask for a warrant or subpoena, and call their agency's counsel. A City Hall spokesperson adding Sunday in part, prior to and following the issuance of this guidance, we had been in constant communication with our city agencies where we discussed numerous hypotheticals, including if law enforcement were to be in pursuit of a violent criminal and use this guidance to inform how to respond. The school's chancellor releasing this video Sunday.
Our policies have not changed. As always, non-local law enforcement is not permitted in any of our school buildings without a judicial warrant or unless there are exigent circumstances. We encourage all parents to have their students continue to attend school.
But Make the Road Action says the encouragement is not enough.
No es posible que mi comunidad esté pasando estos momentos difíciles.
He says it's impossible that my community is going through this difficult time, that they can't even go to church, they can't take their kids to school, they can't shop at supermarkets because of the fear of being arrested and deported.
And I always keep trying to make sure we include Black immigrants whose story often gets left out. My hope is that the people who thought they would be safe understand that our journey is together.
And a City Hall spokesperson says this is a rapidly evolving situation and the city is in the process of issuing updated guidance for city workers to follow.
Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and lie. I feel bad for a lot of them, right? Because a lot of them ain't bad. But the crazy part about it is, right, it's too much. It's too much happening. It's too many of them, you know, too many migrants coming in, you know, violent from gangs. It's not like we don't already know, right, that the presidents of these countries, right, emptied out their prisons and sent them over here. But my thing is, like, right, I don't hear nobody talking about this, right? Isn't that, I mean, if it's against the law, right, wouldn't that been a crime with Kamala and Biden were doing that, right? If they were taking prisoners, right, from other countries and letting them come in over here and get away with everything, plus they were paying them. Isn't there a name for that? But I don't know how many people, you know, have thought about that, but that has crossed through my head. It's like a thought that goes through my head. I'm just wondering. I'm kind of curious. Wasn't they, you know, committing money fraud or something by doing that? Listen, I know there's a couple names to it. There's a couple charges, right? But why are they still walking? Listen, the system is doing what it's supposed to do, but it's time to make changes to that system. Hey, I'm just curious. I know people don't want to hear that shit. I mean, people's just worried about Trump. Like, I get it, but, you know, a lot of y'all was flip-flopping, then y'all made your minds for Trump, and then boom, we're here. Unless y'all know how to change back the, you know, the hands of time and change the past, then I guess that, you know, hopefully a lot of y'all got a plan B. But let us know what y'all think about this video, right? NYC schools chancellor urges immigrant parents not to keep their kids home from school. Leave your comments down below and let us know.
You are using apple cider vinegar.
All right, we got the next video called Grand Rapids Public School State of the School Addresses Current and Future Outlook.
Future of Grand Rapids Public Schools on. Welcome back. The future of Grand Rapids Public Schools on display at tonight's State of the Schools address. Fox 17's Walid Alamla walks us through the district's plans.
Superintendent Dr. Ledrian Roby addressed a number of topics like new projects, the teacher shortage, rising graduation numbers, even ongoing immigration concerns. Dr. Roby reaffirming that GRPS is a safe place for all students.
The celebration was on Thursday night at Ottawa Hills High School. Superintendent Dr. Ledrian Roby addressing the growth from the district and its students.
It is truly a pleasure to be here tonight as we celebrate the progress that is happening across our district.
With parents, faculty, and city leaders in attendance to highlight the positives happening at Grand Rapids Public Schools.
Cities need schools. Maybe schools don't need cities. We all know the vision of the one schoolhouse out in the middle of nowhere. But cities cannot work without a school system that works.
Dr. Roby believes the system is working.
And for the class of 2023, more than 82% of our scholars received a diploma.
I think this system is doing what it's supposed to do too, but it's time to make some changes. The system is stuck in a dinosaur era.
Putting GRPS above the state average for the first time in decades.
Talking the highs.
Last year, our enrollment went up for the first time since 2016. It marked the largest enrollment increase since 2001.
And some lows.
Attendance has been down in our schools across the country since the pandemic.
But still ready to combat the issues.
Attendance this past year rose to nearly 88%, up slightly from the year before. We believe by continuing to partner with our parents and caregivers, we'll reach the goal of 95% average daily attendance.
But the support doesn't stop with the students.
We launched a partnership with Teach Michigan to offer incentives for teachers at the campuses. 2 years ago, we had nearly 200 teacher vacancies in our district. Today, that number is down to 93.
Superintendent Roby wrapping up the evening with an important message about recent immigration issues.
We vow to continue to provide support and resources to our families and our staff as we are navigating these challenging times together. Every child has a right to a quality education. That is a commitment that will never change at GRPS.
The district is also in the first year of its reimagined GRPS plan, which calls for consolidating several buildings and renovating others. It's being paid for with a $305 million bond that was passed back in 2023. In the studio, Wadi Damna, Fox 17 News.
Lisa School is trying to do something, man. And I feel as though that every school need to do the same thing, every city and every state. Like, hey, like I said, we're the ones that make the change happen. I don't know what people waiting for. Guys, give me 1 second because I got to do something. I got to handle something with somebody real quick. I'll be right back. Enjoy this lyrical poem.
Now, you may try to silence me, but the warrior in me will never give up. You'll see. In the face of darkness, I stand tall and strong. With faith as my shield, I'll keep marching on. You may try to bring me down. You may try to silence me, but the warrior in me will never give up.
All right, my bad. I had to deal with somebody real quick. I appreciate everybody for the patience, y'all. Let me see. I gotta read the comment. Shout out to Hockey 720. The power of the people is greater than the people in power, and that's some real facts right there. That's some real shit right there. Like, people don't understand how much power we got in our hands. Like, if we like, sometimes, right, when we go into the past, right, we cannot dwell into it. If anything, right, find, how can I say, when you go into that past, find a solution to whatever problem you're trying to fix. But you can't stay there dwelling. You got to let go. But yeah, on that note, we're going to move on to the next video. Let us shorty know what y'all think about Grand Rapids Public School state of the school addresses current and future outlook. It's time for a change. It's time for a change. Well, let us shorty know what y'all input is and y'all perspectives on this. All right, our next video is man in gorilla suit at Penfield School Board meeting sparks racism concerns. Here we go.
We're here.
I think the message was, we're here to make you feel uncomfortable. We're here to show you that you're not welcome here.
The fallout continues after a fiery school board meeting. At issue, an LGBTQ-themed picture book on elementary school shelves in Penfield. This story is getting national attention, even from Elon Musk. Check it out. He posted about it on social media.
It's the same video we was talking about earlier. It seems this is another clip from the same meeting that we was reacting to from the video earlier.
Media.
Locally, it's become a hot button issue in the Penfield community. News 10 NBC's Tom Kowalski was at last night's meeting, and he's continuing to follow the story tonight. Tom, why are people upset?
Well, Brett and Nikki, it's partly because of this man right here in a gorilla suit wearing a MAGA hat who came to last night's meeting. Now, some people are calling it an act of racism against the board, 4 of whom are women of color. Tonight, I spoke with the man behind the mask right here and Penfield superintendent and school board president.
I can't believe in 2025 we're even discussing something like this.
Dr. Emily Roberts
What's
is
wrong
hurt
with the
by what
gorilla
she
suit?
saw at Tuesday night's Penfield Board of Education meeting when a man showed up in a gorilla suit.
The intent behind that was to intimidate. The superintendent is a woman of color, and there are 4 members that were present on that board that are all women of color.
I found the man behind the mask, Jeff Briggs. He says he didn't intend for the suit to be interpreted as a racist attack.
My good friend's grandson had complained about children in his class identifying as cats, wearing tails, whiskers, ears, and he got suspended twice. All I wanted to do was walk in with that to get a reaction, to show the school board that they could be disruptive. Did I know the superintendent was a black woman? I had no idea.
Briggs says he later attempted to apologize via email and phone, but received no response. He also said when buying the costume, he had limited options.
I went to Arlene's costume, and I said, do you have a cat? He showed me, and it was all feminine. It was pink. I'm not going to walk in with that, and I wanted something that would get a reaction. I have 0 regrets, other than I would have picked out a different costume.
However, I later went to Arlene's costumes and found several other animal suits aside from a gorilla, which the clerk said had been there since Halloween.
Oh, wow. So he lied.
Now, let's not forget the original reason the crowd was there, to voice their concern for the Rainbow Parade, an LGBT book that features cartoon nudity, with some describing it as pornographic. But Superintendent Dr. Potter says despite the loud objections, no one has officially begun the process to remove the book from shelves.
Or why haven't they started the process to remove the book from these shelves? And this is what I'm not understanding, right? The more and more I'm seeing this, right? And I know a lot of people get mad at me for saying this. Listen, like I said, I don't have nothing against the people in the LGBT community, right? I don't have nothing against anybody that hops on a rainbow, right? What their sex preference is their sex preference, right? Like, listen, if you want to think you're a man, you can think you're a man. I mean, if you're a woman and you want to think you're a man, hey, that's on you, be it. If you're a man thinking that you're a woman, that's on you, be it. But at the end of the day, right, as a man, you have a third leg right in between your damn legs. You can't be a woman. As a woman, you have a vajayjay, you have a kitty cat, right? Like, come on, man, you push a baby through that. You can't be a man. So let's not put these things right in our kids' heads. Once again, right? Whatever y'all do in between them 4 walls, right? Behind them closed doors, in between them sheets, that's between y'all and whoever is there with y'all. But the kids don't got nothing to do with this. And if anything, when it comes to sex, when it comes to all that stuff, I feel as though that it should be the parent educating the kid. And parents, right, if you feel the same, start speaking up, start going over there. Because what's crazy is they took out sex ed to replace it with the LGBT classes. That's not really making sense to me.
The 8330 is the policy that we use determines that there's a book that they object to being in circulation in our library.
I think putting those books on the shelves, then they're doing good. They're harming their children, those that are going to those schools, by not telling them. And the process we were told was insulting.
Now, according to the district, that book is currently still in 3 elementary schools, one of which has had it since 2022.
So, Tom, you've been following this story for 2 days now.
That book should be in no elementary school, none whatsoever, especially after, what was being said that Trump was going to do. Them books all should be taken out. Why are they still there? why are these school boards letting these schools do this? Are they doing it on purpose? Because I don't want to hear it's a mistake. I don't want to hear no more excuses. What is the true agenda behind this? We know the kids are the target. Like I said before, man, I have no filters in my mouth and no hairs in my tongue. What in the world is going on with these school boards? What is going on with the Board of Education? I said that all messed up. Like, whoa.
What's next?
Well, as you heard, parents can officially begin that process to get books off the shelves with District Policy 8330, and then it goes to committee with library specialists, teachers, and parents and students when the school board considers it appropriate.
All right, Tom, thank you. And by the way, you can watch the full interview with Jeff Briggs on our YouTube page and on WHUC.com.
Billions of people dream that they can.
In my opinion, they left them books in there too long. Something's off. And we got to be careful. I'm sorry, listen to say it, man. We got to be careful with certain, a lot of these politicians, right? And what's crazy is that y'all don't notice this, right? We could put these politicians into office, but it's every 2 years, right? Since people barely go and vote, right? They automatically get put in. So a lot of these politicians actually end up doing what the hell they please. And it's crazy. If y'all haven't peeped, right? Their agenda has been targeting our kids for the longest. I don't know how long y'all been watching me, right? I know I've had a lot of people get mad at me for certain things I say on here, but my way of perceiving the way things are going nowadays is not going to change at all.
In this world of blame and shame, we point fingers, we play the game. But as our children cry in fear, we turn the blind eye, we shed no tears. Believe our women, they say, while our kids are led astray. Lost in darkness, lost in pain, yet their cries fall silent like the rain. It's a shame how far we've come, blaming all the men playing dumb. But our children need us near to wipe their tears and calm their fears. In this land of the free, water's the commodity for you and me. Can't you see? It's not fair, it's plain to see. People struggling to pay for something they need every day. In America where we say we're free, but water shouldn't come at a fee. It's shorty just speaking in general about the things that seem so small. This ain't meant towards everyone, just a cry in the dark. In America where water is marked. Brothers and sisters, hear my plea. This is not about you or me. Our kids are the future, they hold the key. Wake up before we're met with defeat. In this world of chaos and strife, we must guide them to a better life. Teach them love, compassion, and light, so they can lead us out of this endless night. Let's unite as one strong force. For our children, let's stay on course. Together we can make a change and secure a better future in exchange. Y'all should have listened the first time they let the cat out the hat. Now it's a crime. Many are falling into a trap, thinking it's a game, but they full of cap. Some are ready and fully strapped, while others keep falling into the gap. The warning signs were clear as day, but some chose not to heed what they say. Now the consequences come to light. Those who ignored are in for a fight. Listen close and learn from this mishap. Don't be caught unaware, don't fall into the trap. From the wisdom of my elders, I learned women are strong, independent, and firm. But sometimes we need a helping hand to conquer challenges and make a stand. Independence is crucial, that's true. Yet together, with a man, we can pursue. Respect yourself first and foremost, so others will treat you like the most. Ladies, growing up, remember this advice. You're capable of anything you devise. But partnership and respect go hand in hand. Embrace your strength and make a stand. Memories of the past I couldn't see, now I understand. The wisdom they gave me, respect yourself first, that's the key. To earn respect from others is how it should be. A man's worth measured by how he treats his queen. Love and romance in the air, a beautiful scene. A woman's power to uplift or demean. In her hands lies a man's dream. Lessons learned from an OG so true. In matters of the heart, they know what to do. Love and respect intertwined like glue. In a world where old-fashioned values still ring through. Peter Pan, Peter Pan. Peter Pan was a fairy tale. Now males want to be females without fail. Women want to be a man. It's a twisted tale. Flipping scripts and roles, they set sail. Fighting for roles, turning to moles. Making hits with their agenda goals. Targeting our kids, it takes a toll. To them it's a bliss, to us it's a black hole. They ain't trying to miss. Their agenda is the ultimate twist. Infiltrating young minds with their list, but we won't let them persist. I'm with women's rights, but what about men's too? Equality for all, it's long overdue. We want progress, we need to see both sides. Blame and shame won't help us unite. Don't label him a deadbeat without looking in the mirror. Sometimes it takes two to create rupture. Let's have conversations that include everyone. Empathy and understanding, the battles can be won. Men face struggles too, let's not forget. Their mental health matters, let's not neglect. It's time to break down walls and build bridges instead. Together we can strive for equality ahead. You scream for the police every time he come around. They scream child support abuse, playing victim in this town. Enjoy that check, boo, but remember what goes up must come down. The only time he's worthy is when he bails you out the mess you found. You play the game, manipulating hearts without a doubt, but karma's knocking at your door, there's no way out. You point fingers and shift the blame around, but in the end, it's your own chaos that you found. You dance with danger, living on the edge of lies, but the truth will catch up to you, no more disguise. The man you rely on to clean up your mess is so profound, will soon see through your facade and leave you astounded. Using a child as a weapon, it's a shame. A woman who lacks self-respect, I can't acclaim. Real men fighting for what they believe in, never in vain. Standing 10 toes down, bringing awareness to the pain. Respect is earned by how you carry yourself, not by tearing others down for personal wealth. Real men don't back down, they fight with honor and stealth against injustice and falsehoods that threaten our health. Let's uplift each other instead of tearing apart, supporting one another from the start. Real men stand tall with courage in their heart, fighting for justice and truth, playing their part. Here's for the men who share their truth, never afraid to stand tall in their boots, respecting our women, fighting for what's right, supporting our kids day and night. Real women out there blazing trails, men by their side never looking pale. Rights for all, let's keep the balance true. Men have a voice, let's listen to. In this crazy world where battles are fought, let's remember the men who give it all they've got. Respect to those who speak their stories loud. Together we stand strong and proud. Together we stand, united we'll rise, setting an example for young eyes. In every step we take, in every plan, guiding the next generation's hand. Leading by actions, not just by words, teaching them to fly like birds. Showing love and respect in all we do, for they're always watching, taking cues. Hand in hand, let's pave the way for a better tomorrow, starting today. Our children learn from what they see. Let's show them how great they can be. Let's be what our children need.
That's the best way. That's the best way I can put it, y'all, man. It's so much going on here, man, and I feel as though we could do something, but we're so divided to the point that, grenades have, gone off, bombs have exploded, all the dust and the debris is in the air, and we got it in our eyes, and we can't seem to wipe it off to wake up to save our lives. For real, for real. Change could be made if we let go of the excuses. Because when I was growing up, can't wasn't allowed in our vocabulary. But, right? I don't know if y'all heard, but yesterday there was a whole nother school shooting that they're calling Valentine's Day school shooting, right? There was a Morrisville student arrested for planning a school shooting on Valentine's Day. And would you believe that it was a little girl? I was sitting here like, damn, like, what is we gonna do, right? Like, what's crazy is, right, like, a lot of people do need to be strapped, right? But a lot of people don't need to own a weapon. And it's going to be very hard to be able to differentiate, which is which, because I don't know if they was giving out licenses, permits, what the heck they was doing. But these guns, right, are ending up in these kids' hands. And from what I see, the majority of the time, it belongs to a parent. It ain't the first school shooting we react to, but let's check this out real quick. I don't know, maybe a lot of y'all have heard it. A lot of y'all didn't hear about it, but this is crazy.
4:30, we are still following breaking news in Mooresville. That's where police arrested a high school student accused of planning a school shooting.
The 18-year-old now facing multiple criminal charges. Fox 59's Jenny Dressler spoke with the police chief just moments ago and just is live there in Mooresville.
She's accused of planning the shooting. Oh, snap.
Rafael, a lot here to unpack tonight. I just spoke to Police Chief Gary Buckner here with Mooresville Police Department, and he described this entire situation as just simply disturbing, to say the least. Now, we do know 18-year-old Trinity Shockley was taken into custody on Tuesday and charged with 1 count of conspiracy to commit murder, 1 count of intimidation and threat to commit terrorism, and 1 count of conspiracy to commit intimidation and threat to commit terrorism. Now, this all started on Tuesday when court documents show that a friend of Shockley's called a tip into that Sandy Hook tip line about Shockley's plans to carry out a mass shooting tomorrow on Valentine's Day at Mooresville High School. Court documents say that the friend said Shockley did have access to an AR-15 and had ordered a bulletproof vest. Court documents also say that a social media chat revealed Shockley had been planning a mass shooting for about a year. Mooresville Police Chief Kerry Buckner tells me that during this investigation, police discovered Shockley had an obsession with mass shooters. Her room had a collage of posters of previous mass shooters all over her walls. Shockley confessed to a school counselor that she did have an obsession with Nicholas Cruz. Nicholas Cruz was the Parkland, Florida mass shooter, which took place on Valentine's Day in 2018. Shockley's backpacks in court documents say they had notebooks in them, 3 of them, each with swastikas, the words kill, bang, I hate you all, die, die, die. Other disturbing experts about mass shootings.
Yo, this is crazy, man. So let me ask y'all a question. In this situation, I've been asking the question a lot, and every video that we review and react to, it has a juvenile in it. In this situation, do y'all believe that this child needs rehabilitation, then jail time, or rehabilitation, or just jail time, or a combination of both, right? But if that's possible, combination of both. I said it so good the other day. A combination of both rehabilitation and jail time, right? Is it possible to have rehabilitation in jail time? Facts, Hawkey. What's going on in her home? That's the real key. It's something. Listen, that ain't no lie. A lot of the things that are happening with these kids are surfacing from home. Majority of the time, it could be that something's happening in the school or within the community. But for some reason, when these school shootings surface, it's something going on with the child and the parent neglected. And what I mean by the parent neglected, right? Just in case, but some people don't understand when I talk like that. I'm trying to just make a long story short. But they neglected. They were neglectful with their kids. They wasn't paying attention. They wasn't doing what they were supposed to do as parents. So, yep, psych ward rehabilitation. Yeah.
Shootings were also found in those notebooks, including that Shockley told investigators that she wanted to prove that she's the Parkland school shooter, Nicholas Cruz's #1 fan.
Oh, wow.
So police say her plans were just shocking.
I know a lot of people think it's corny, see something, say something, but really, it works. If you see something that's you think's unusual, maybe dangerous, get a hold of somebody. That's Sandy Hook hotline is a good one. And the thing is, we're not going to immediately go down and blow down doors and stuff like that. We investigate it. If it's nothing, it's nothing. It's better to say something and be nothing.
I just realized that was Gary Busted Down Brown that said psych word blessings has been replaced. I didn't even notice that Gary was in the chat. Blessings, Gary Busted Down Brown. I did not know you was there. Welcome to the live, yo. Guys, make sure y'all go check out Gary Busted Down Brown, man. Great conversations, great topics. And I love the fact that he touches on topics that a lot of people are scared to touch on. Make sure y'all go check him out. Y'all will not be disappointed. Gary, if you can, drop your link down below. And let's continue. I apologize. I didn't realize that was you.
To not say something, and next thing you know, you have 20, 30 kids killed.
Now, Mooresville police say that Shockley's father is cooperating with the investigation, and there will be school tomorrow at Mooresville High School, but with a beefed up security presence. Rafael, Aaliyah.
Jenny Dressler live for us in Mooresville in Morgan County. Of course, Jenny's there at the scene, our newsroom, the folks that work behind us, working every possible angle. I made some calls while we were on the set within the last few minutes. I did receive a statement from the Mooresville schools. Their spokesperson, Susan Hayes, says to us this in part: the Mooresville Schools Police Department and Mooresville School District Administration have been made aware of a situation in which a high school student made threatening statements on an online platform. The student has been placed in custody, and here's the key thing, will not return to school.
And district officials also mentioned in that statement that mental health resources will be available for students. That's a lot to unpack, of course. And for parents, I'm sure there are a lot of questions for you at home, parents and guardians. They said that you can call the school offices if you have any questions of where your child attends for more information. But again, the story is still developing. We'll have updates both on air and online at fox59.com.
But enough about us. Without further ado, let's get started.
That's a good question, Gary. How many of these kids are in single family homes or two income homes where the parents aren't home? And Gary makes a point because unfortunately, right, a lot of these kids, right, where these situations happen, either the parents are not home, right? They could have both parents, but they're not home. They're not getting the attention. They're not, how can I say, I'm not going to call it neglect either because they got to work and make that bread, right? But they're not getting as much time with their kids as they should be. And then you got the single parent homes, right, where they're trying. A lot of them are living off a supplemental income, right, where the parent isn't working and they're struggling with the kids. But then you got single parents that are working, right? It's crazy. I could break this down in so many ways. I live in the hood, right? And then you got the parents that are single and are working and are struggling because now they're working and the kid is always home too. So that's a good question. But I guess this story is unfolding now. This happened yesterday. So I guess somebody snitched on the little shorty, right? And they was able to catch onto this situation fast. If it wasn't for her getting snitched on, I think today, February 14th, we would have had a whole nother school shooting. But this one was prevented. So shout out to the person who ever snitched, man. I think parents need to sit down and have a conversation with their kids and explain to them what the definition of snitching really means. But we're going to move into the next video. And I think this has to do, this has to do with the same videos we were watching earlier, right? About the New York City school board meeting and how it all went left, right? Parents fight school board over inappropriate children's book.
Chaos erupting at a school board meeting in New York State after parents confronted officials over Rainbow Parade, an LGBT alphabet soup plus book available to students in grades 1 through 5 that shows nudity and bondage-style fetish attire.
And if that isn't bad enough, when parents who were outraged sounded the alarm, the board silenced them and they shut down the meeting early. Watch.
No one has objected. We have the policy in place, right? The procedures in place to object. Excuse me. That is not how you object. Yes, we are going to go into a recess. Can I have a motion? So moved. Thank you. We are in recess.
Joining us now is the first parent to bring this issue to light, Jenny Sulliver. Jenny, thank you so much for being here. Your child, age 10, in 5th grade, and you did everything in your power trying to call the school board, and also emailing, and your only recourse was to go to the school board meeting, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Did you get any answers at all from anyone as to why this book is in school?
No, we have not gotten any answers yet. Originally, I went to a meeting back in January and addressed it with them. They did not address my concerns. I came back to speak at this meeting and they got up and left and they never came back.
You know, Jenny, when kids are basically being failed by the school system, not necessarily failing to teach the basics, and you get this, what's your reaction? What were some of the other parents' reactions beyond the outrage?
They were very outraged because when I brought it to the attention at the last board meeting, it was just, people couldn't believe that this was actually in an elementary school, mind you, kindergarten through 5th grade.
So it's available in the library. My daughter brought it home. And
I mean, I'm not coming at her. I got to give it to mom, right, for stepping up and, speaking up for her child, right, and what's going on and what she wants, right? But here's my thing. She's wrong on that part, right? I mean, y'all can come at me. She can come at me. But at the end of the day, right, parents have been fighting this for the past couple years, especially after the pandemic has started. Especially after Biden signed off where, the transgender men and women could share the same bathroom. Like, let's make it make sense. Parents have been speaking up in these school board meetings. The problem is, right, and I'm gonna cut this right down the middle. A lot of people don't stand up and speak up until the devil's knocking at their doors. And I wish they would say that instead of saying, well, I didn't know that this was happening and this was going on, when it's all around you. This is a topic that's been talked about for years, for the past couple of years, and it's still being talked about for the in 2025. It's still going viral. A topic that it hasn't gone viral once, it hasn't gone viral twice, but more than a couple times.
they just can't believe it's even there. And I was very upset that we entrust the school system with our kids. They're in their care, and my job as a mother is to protect and guard my child with my life. And to be honest with you, this indoctrination that is happening is just out of control, and it needs to end.
Is the book still there?
No, I have the book. It is supposed to be there, but I actually have the book.
And you've never gotten a response from anyone involved with the school or the school board to this day? Like they just...
No, she just owes like the school district, the school library, like maybe $5 for that book or something.
It's hid.
So they went hiding, and I have the book right here. It's still here in my hand. I actually did not get a response from them. They tried,
but it's more
denying
than one
my
copy.
First Amendment right.
I'm sorry, I had to pause her because I'm sorry. I know it's serious, but the way she's talking has got me geeking inside a little bit. I mean, I'm just over here in my head laughing because you don't have the only copy to that book. It's more than one copy. They had multiple students reading this. That's why she's like, no, I have the book. I was like, damn, okay, so you saved the book. You saved the school. You got the only copy of the. I'm sorry. You know what, Ray? Get back on topic. She stole the book. Yeah, she owes the library like $6 for the book, yo.
Freedom of speech. They did not want me speaking at the last board meeting, and nobody could speak anyway because they got up and left. They were cowards. They went and hid. It's very irritating because many parents are experiencing the same thing. Emails go unanswered, calls go unanswered. They just deflect. They try to turn the narrative, and they don't answer any questions.
So Jenny, what's next? What are you and the parents going to do next?
Mm-hmm. So we're unified, and we are going to continue to go to these meetings. We want them held accountable. They're not going to deny us of our freedom of...
Y'all unified now. My question to you is we going to stay unified after this? Will we continue to stay unified? Is our kids going to be our priority to the point where we won't let anything else interfere in this goal? I mean, I got questions too because I'm tired of shit failing, man. It's time for us to come together, but like I told y'all, it's too many people with dust in their eyes.
Speech. They should be brought up on charges. As far as I'm concerned, I'm a court reporter. I work in court. People are brought up on real charges every day for endangering the welfare of a child and giving lewd material to children. This is exactly what it is on its face, and they should not have any exemption from that. And they should be held accountable. Yep. And I really hope that something changes here because these children, it's our future for them to learn and not be indoctrinated by what's going on with the DEI.
Yep. Your voice is welcome here, Jenny Sullivan. Thank you so much. Thank you for appearing with us. And we want to know, we did reach out to the Penfield Central School District for a comment. We have not heard back yet. Thank you again.
And I thank her too. Bless her little heart. She stole the only copy that was in the school library. Yo, but she is speaking some facts. Yo, something got to get done. But like I say, man, my question is, will we stay united, right? Because we only seem to come united in certain situations, and not enough of us come together. But who, little do we know, right? It's more of us than there is them. But you know what? You know what? People don't want to hear that. You can't hit the link. That's probably because I got this drawn like that. Hold on. I'm going to put the link on my community wall. I do got the petition to my link. I'm going to put it on my community wall because I am on the portrait mode on this live. So some people might be able to hit links. Some people might not be able to. So I'm going to leave the link in my community wall. Basically, this link, right, is for a shorty to get cameras in each and every one of our classrooms, right, nationwide. Like, it is a story behind. It's a very long story behind this, right? Y'all would have to catch up with a couple of videos to understand this, but because of what my son did, right, went through, right, and how they did my son, right, I stood up against the school district of Philadelphia, right, and won a lawsuit against them, right. I didn't want the lawsuit. Really, I wanted to get this damn teacher arrested for how she handled things, but at the end of the day, things went towards my way. I wasn't, I didn't get 100% justice, because 100% justice would have meant that my son wouldn't be adjudicated, but he is adjudicated. But at the end of the day, we won that lawsuit against the school district of Philadelphia because of how they handled the situation with a child that has an IEP, a child that was suffering from PTSD, ADHD, and was in the process of being diagnosed with autism, right? And the school knew everything that I did with my child, but they still ignored, right, and didn't give a fuck. So I had to go through a whole lawsuit with them. So a little while after that, Shorty came up with the idea about the cameras, right? I've noticed that the majority of our schools here in the United States don't have cameras in every classroom. Now, I'm not talking about the hallways. I'm not talking about the entrance. Listen, there's now, because of a lot of parents coming together, right? We've got something called a class dojo, where a lot of grades from kindergarten to third grade have little cameras in the classroom, and certain parents can see certain things, but not every school has that. What we're trying to do is, like I said, get these cameras in each and every one of the classrooms, right? There's a video that I have uploaded, right? I even went up to one of the community meetings, spoke on this. I spoke with Patrick's, I forgot his last name, but basically he's Brandon Boyle's right hand, right, when it comes to the schools and stuff like that, they have to do with the schools. So basically, they were the head honchos. They're who I needed to hit and aim for. But because of everything that was happening during the Biden administration and all that, and then the transfer to Kamala, right, funds were being sent to you. You know what? Y'all already know. Let me not say this here because they might end up taking my channel. But I've spoke on it already before. It should be on some of my uploads. It should be on some of my lives, right? But yeah, basically it's this, trying to get parents together and help our kids, right? When it comes to our kids getting bullied, we need to see what's happening in these classrooms, right? With everything going on, right, with the staff on kids on staff, right? It's so much happening in these schools that we don't know who is really initiating things. Sometimes the problems end up being initiated in the school, and they end up, getting finished, right, after school and a block away, 2 blocks away. You see where I'm coming from? Like, we need to know as parents what's really going on, right? Like, because when you take this to court, is your child's word against the teacher? Is your child's word against the school in reality? So if your child is innocent, how do you prove his innocence? You see where I'm coming from? When it's that child's word against a teacher's word. So I came up with this idea, not just to help the kids, but to also help out those good teachers that are out there. Unfortunately, we got some messed up teachers, right? That need some type of mental health help. But we do got some good teachers out here that do their job, even though they're underpaid with everything that's going on. Shout out to them, yo. But this camera idea, right? Deeper backgrounds into into the staff in these schools, right, would definitely be a start for something to help out our kids, especially our kids with special needs. They got to sit in front of a judge, right, after they have defended themselves. The bully gets to walk away, but this child now has to pay a price because they stood up for themselves. They got tired of being bullied. They got tired of being picked on, and they finally stood up for themselves, went left. And now this child, for standing up for themselves, they got to pay for the consequences. Once again, too many of our kids with ADHD, autism, Down syndrome, standing up and, and not just them, even kids that don't have any type of mental health issue are also standing up for themselves and, ending up paying the consequences for, not letting somebody bully them, somebody hurt them. And it's crazy. But yeah, this can go far and deep. But this petition is to help get these cameras in there. Allegedly, the government don't have funds to get cameras in these schools the way that a lot of us parents are asking. I'm not the only parent, right, coming together doing this. So if you think that what I'm saying is a good idea and you think it will benefit our kids, the parents, along with the school staff, I suggest, right, that you start your own petition in whatever city and state that you are and back us up, right, all the parents that are trying to do this. Because this is something that's really, really needed. Deeper backgrounds on the teachers, principals, counselors, all of them, right? I feel as though that some type of evaluation needs to be done to see if these teachers can really be in a field, right, with a whole bunch of kids and deal with it, handle it. I gotta say deal. I don't know why I said deal with it, but I hope y'all understand my point, right? So I appreciate everybody. The link is in my community wall for those that are curious, right? That link should work. Let me check it real quick. And yes, that link does work. So if y'all go check it out and sign it, it's free. Y'all don't got to pay for nothing. All y'all are doing is giving your signature for the government to approve cameras, more cameras in our schools, because they are definitely needed to back up our kids. But let's move on. Let's move on to the next. Let's move on to the next topic, right? So this meeting right here was about parents fight school board over inappropriate children's books, basically defending parental rights. So let us shorty know what y'all think about that video and leave your comments down below.
Do you support?
Our next video is about Bernie Sanders repeatedly asked Linda McMahon about teacher salaries. Ooh, are they demanding teacher salaries to be raised? They should.
Sanders.
That's one thing that I can sit here and say, listen, these teachers are really underpaid. I've seen teachers pull money out their pocket to get school supplies, to get, stuff for the kids to have in the classroom so that these kids can actually prosper, learn something, have fun, be motivated, inspired. Yet, guess what? They've cut programs. They've cut so many things from these schools. And then the teachers are underpaid. Some of these teachers got to deal with some of these badass kids out here. And yes, it's crazy to hear me say that, right? Somebody that speaks up for the kids, somebody that speaks up for kids' rights. But I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat shit either. All right. I know that the same way we got these good kids out here that we need to defend, protect, right, and speak up for, we got these little badass kids out here that we need to put up, speak up, defend, and put away. As messed up as that sound, it's the truth. Because when it comes with our kids, it's also like dealing with the world, like dealing with us adults. It's a yin and yang thing. But I'm just stuck on how Linda McMahon is in charge of the, she's the education secretary. She's in charge of the board of education. Like Trump, what was you thinking? Anyway, this meeting was yesterday. Let's listen.
With that, I yield to Senator Sanders.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I appreciate you too. I appreciate you too, Hawkeye. I appreciate that.
When we talk about education, we're looking at it in a vacuum. We're talking about the struggles that low-income kids are having. It's true.
Very old. Jesus.
But Mrs. McMahon, you are also aware that in America we have more income and wealth inequality than we've ever had before. You are aware that we have the highest rate of childhood poverty of almost any major country on earth. You are aware, I suspect, that teachers are dealing with kids who are literally homeless, kids who come from dysfunctional families where there is violence.
Mm-hmm.
Does it concern you in America that we are living in a society where the people on top are doing phenomenally well, while 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck? And how do you think that impacts our educational system?
Thank you very much, Senator, for that question. First of all, let me say that I believe that teaching is one of the most noble professions that we have in our country, and we have so many good.
Yo, I just noticed Triple H is right behind Linda McMahon. Is that Stephanie McMahon? Oh shit, they got the whole wrestling crew in there.
Dedicated teachers to help our students. I do think that we are trapping students often in low-performing schools, and that's why the president has such a strong policy towards school choice.
But you will agree, I don't mean to interrupt you, but you will agree that you can't just look at education. The truth is that middle class, upper middle class public schools in America generally do pretty well. But if you are homeless, if you were a homeless person and you had kids, the odds of your kids doing pretty well are not good. I'm just asking you, what do you think about the massive level of income and wealth inequality, the fact that we have the highest rate of childhood poverty? Is that something you think you might want to pay attention to?
Well, certainly, Senator, I do believe that we want to make sure that every child in our country has the opportunity to have equal access to a quality education. And the Department of Education really is not setting economic policy in the country.
Well,
we should focus on educating our children, and we should focus on it at the local level.
let me ask you this. You mentioned correctly that we have many great teachers in America, right?
Yes.
If you as a businesswoman wanted to attract the best and the brightest, would you be starting them off after they leave school, maybe $50,000, $60,000 in debt with salaries of $35,000 or $40,000? Or would you say, we respect, you talked about teaching being the noblest profession. I agree with you. Would you agree with me, support my legislation that says no teacher in America should earn at least $60,000 a year?
Well, certainly the pay to teachers is up to the states where those teachers reside. I do believe we should pay our teachers fairly. They spend so much time with our students, and they should be well compensated for their
paying them
job.
fairly, nobody in the world will disagree with you. I mean, the question is, if teaching is a noble profession, if teaching is an important profession, you know, should we be paying them salaries commensurate with the value that of the work that they are doing? So I'm asking you a simple question. Would you recommend to states, as the leader of education in America, that teachers at least make $60,000 a year?
I would certainly recommend to states that teachers be paid what is commensurate with the kinds of jobs that are part of their states.
How about y'all drop that $60,000 a year, right? Take that away. How about we give our teachers at least $80,000 a year? How about that? Let's give them a raise and take out of these schools these teachers that are mentally disturbed, these predators. And, you know, give a raise to those teachers that deserve that raise, man. How about that? Instead of $60,000, Bernie, let's give our teachers $80,000 a year. How about $90,000 a year? Because they deserve it.
Not all states have the same living costs. Not all states have the same ability to pay teachers, but to attract really good teachers and to keep them, we should definitely pay them commensurate with the job performance that they are undertaking.
Millions of young people, low-income people, are finding it very difficult to afford to go to college, and they're leaving school $50,000, $100,000, $200,000 in debt. Pell Grant program provides assistance to over 7 million low-income young people in this country. Can you guarantee to us, if you are made a Secretary of Education, that no student in America will lose their Pell Grant as the department is dismantled?
Surely the defunding is not the goal here. The continuation of Pell Grants, I'd actually even like to see an expansion of Pell Grants. I'd like to see short-term certificates for Pell Grants for students who aren't going on to four-year universities, who could have the opportunity to use Pell Grants for skill-based learning.
All right, so what I'm hearing you say is Pell Grant program will continue under your administration.
Yes.
Okay.
You against that, Bernie?
Senator Cassidy asked you an important question, and that is, do you agree? And let me just once again get your feelings on this, that if there is a movement to abolish the Department of Education, it has to go through the United States Congress.
Yes, it is set up by the United States Congress, and we work with Congress. It clearly cannot be shut down without it.
Thank you. Senator.
Sure. What do y'all think? Who is that? Gary busted down? Let me see. I gotta check the comment. Gary says, "Why is First Lady of Entertainment telling people about education?" Boy, I don't know. I would have thought that she would have been wrestling Vince McMahon. She would have been in the ring with him right now. He would have just picked her up, body slammed her. Then she would have wrapped her legs around him, right? Flipped him in the ring. Boom, boom, boom. Listen, I don't know why the First Lady of Entertainment is in the Board of Education. I'm stuck, let's say. You haven't noticed that, have you noticed that our government has been infiltrated by Hollywood? There's a lot of actors up there and celebrities. Like me, Les. You know what? I know I'm not dreaming. I'm woke as shit. But I woke up one morning and then, we had a whole bunch of celebrities pretending to be politicians now. I guess you got Elon Musk in the White House now. Snap. He should be out there inventing more robots, but he in the White House. What can I say? Yo, let us really know what y'all think about that. You see that they just having more and more talk about dismantling the it's been that way since forever. Oh, snap, damn, since you telling me Hollywood has been infiltrating the government for the longest? Damn. You know what'll be crazy? What would be crazy if I see a rapper become president? Imagine Lil Wayne becoming the president of the United States of America. He'll be in the Oval Office rolling freaking mushrooms into joints and shit. Trump isn't the first actor to become president. For real? Google isn't going to tell me that right now. I might try Gemini on my phone, but Google isn't going to tell me that right now. Damn. Gary got me thinking. I didn't know that. Oh, snap. All right, so let us really know what y'all think about that, right? Can there be a change? Can we make a difference when it comes to our communities? So with that being said, guys, we're about to jump into, right, the school board meeting of Philadelphia, right? The School District of Philadelphia, State of Schools 2025 is what this video is called. All right, we're going to hop right into it. We're going to play a little bit today, and then we're going to play the other part on another live, because if I play the whole thing here, they will strike my channel no matter what disclaimer I put. For some reason, when I play the school board meetings, right, and videos like this, I don't know what is it with YouTube, but they like hitting a shorty, man. So for those of y'all that have made it this far, man, can you do a shorty a favor, man? Can y'all share that video for a shorty, man? Help a shorty bring awareness. I appreciate that. I kindly appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. Muchas gracias. Let's get this started.
Let's give Jayla Tyler, the Next Measure Jazz Band, and Mr. Andrew Warren another round of applause.
You want to fast forward some more?
Mr. Warren is the musical director. Everybody is from right here, School of the Future. Let's show them some more Philadelphia love. We also want to share some love with David Fernandez, a 2024 graduate of Strawberry Mansion High School and future engineer, as he so proudly told us in his video. He earned college credits while in high school through SDP's dual in Philadelphia.
All right, I'm going to fast forward a little bit because this lady is just going to talk about the graduations. I want to know about what's going to happen with our schools, all right? So I think Cheryl Parker is going to come up. So that's why I fast forward this job.
Slogan. Join us in welcoming Mayor Cheryl Parker.
Ronald Reagan was an actor? Oh, snap. I got to look into that. Oh, shit. I didn't know that Cheryl Parker made 100th mayor. She's our 100th mayor here in Philadelphia. It's probably more than that. And they kept the first ones a secret like they did the first president ever. But hey.
Thank you all. Thank you all so much. And thank you for the very kind introduction, Monique. Good morning, and I want you all to know that I am very grateful to be here on today to celebrate with you the accomplishments of the past year and to confirm my commitment to keeping public education and our children at the center of all of the work being done by the Parker administration. Watching the video and listening to the young lady sing, again, it affirms that our students are packed with potential and possibility. For us, we're focused on the path towards a well-paying and successful career. And, you know, I've been doing a lot of thinking and working with my own son, and I don't care what you decide you want to do in life, everything starts with the basics, math and reading and science. Just this week, you all know that the National Center for Education Statistics, they released the 2024 NAEP results for math and reading. And these scores reveal that students across the country are still performing below pre-pandemic levels. However, we should.
But why? Why are our students here in Philadelphia, right, scoring below? Why isn't there economic, their scholastic? Why isn't there, you know, their grades coming up? Why are they scoring so low on their grades? What is the problem? What is the issue? Is it the phones? Is it that they're not getting enough sleep at nighttime? Is it that they're, you know, parents are letting them run wild outside in the streets? I don't know. What is the problem? They're not getting punished enough, or are they getting rewarded too much? Parents aren't sitting down with them, giving them some attention, some time, you know, helping them read. I don't know. Why is it that in our schools we have a low rate of kids graduating and low test scores?
Note for the record that scores for Philadelphia students show modest improvements in all 4 areas that are tested, and our students need to hear from us and know that we are proud of the progress that they've made, and we are pleased that to see our district continuing to move forward. I'm not sure if any of you pay attention to any space and place that I am in when I am introducing 2 people, because I really do get very protective when I introduce them. When I introduce our Philadelphia Police Commissioner, Kevin Bethel, I refer to him as my police commissioner, Kevin Bethel, the best police commissioner in the nation. That's a message for any other cities across the country who think about they're coming to get my police commissioner. Well, you hear me say the same thing when I'm talking about our superintendent, Dr. Tony Watlington. And I am so proud, and we should be so proud of him being recognized as Superintendent of the Year by the District Leadership Development Institute. You made us proud. Stand up and recognize him, please. Please. We are proud of you, Dr. Watlington. We're proud of you. He is a tremendous superintendent for our children, faculty, and everyday employees of the school district of Philadelphia. But you know, the state of our schools is a culmination of what I would refer to as, yes, the extraordinary leadership under Dr. Watlington, but you can't talk about Dr. Watlington's leadership without talking about strong partnership as it relates to our local government. local governance coming from our Board of Education. President Streeter, and to this board, we want you to know that we are super excited and grateful about all of your tireless efforts. And quite frankly, someone always reminds me that, you know, Sherelle, people forget that being a member of the Board of Education is a volunteer effort. But I know it's a double full-time position. And I just want to say to you, President Streeter, all members of the board, we are so grateful for your commitment, and to our students and our student members. Yes. As an elected official, and thank you, Monique, for affirming that. I've been working in government for a little while, and it's so very easy for folks to say that they care about public education, but this is when you have to embrace James Baldwin's thinking that, you know, I can't believe what you say because I see what you do. When I tell you that the Parker administration is committed to the school district of Philadelphia and public education, to say it would not simply alone be enough. That is why
I would love to hear you and Brandon Boyle talk together about the schools.
Last March, we set the course to add $129 million in new city funding over 5 years by shifting our real estate millage rate from 55% to 56%.
So basically, you're trying to say that the score and test rates are going up instead of going down.
We were excited about that. It's also why we worked also very hard to capture the growth of property revaluations to secure an additional $119 million in city funds for the district over 5 years. And for all of the math teachers who are in the audience, you know that these...
Yo, man, we need to raise more money than that because our teachers are underpaid once again. What is we going to do about that? What are we going to do about putting more curriculums in our schools? I hear you saying y'all put that much money, but is it going to go towards what we need? Because every year I hear this is going towards that, that is going towards this. But why aren't we seeing the stuff that all that money went into? I guess I'm blind.
These efforts together combined, they deliver over $250 million in additional revenue over the next 5 years for the school district of Philadelphia. In addition to that, you know that the city of Philadelphia, we can
$250 million for the next 5 years. And that's going to include what teachers pays. That's going to include the curriculums. That's going to include the programs. We need more than that.
Can't fund public education alone. Last year, our governor, Josh Shapiro, he signed the biggest one-year increase in education spending in Pennsylvania school history. Give Governor Shapiro a huge round of applause. Important for me to share with you, what did that mean? You know, $232 million more for Philadelphia schools. Whenever someone tells you that they value something, listen to what they say, but always make sure that you can quantify it with a specific number. And I know we all together will continue to support our legislators in Harrisburg to ensure that it delivers what it should, to ensure that it's doing and fulfilling its constitutional duty, and that is to provide a thorough and efficient public education for students across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. But that's just the funding. We, the city of Philadelphia, also enjoy a very strong partnership with Dr. Watlington. And again, that's just not appropriations. It continues with the strategic initiatives and investments that are moving the needle every day for our children. I want you to think about the extended day, extended year pilot program that shrinks the opportunity gap between children who are in suburban suburban schools and those who are in Philadelphia to ensure that no child is left behind and on the outside looking in. When we started working on these programs, we realized that some in the suburbs could afford to pay out of pocket, and parents did it as a standard operating procedures in their households. I don't care if we were talking about spring break, summer break, winter break. Folks have access to extracurricular activities and enrichment opportunities, and your socioeconomic status should not be the sole indicator to determine whether or not you have access to this. So what does it mean? Thank you.
What are you trying to say is that it doesn't matter if you're in the hood or in the suburbs, right? Both sides should get the equal treatment, the equal opportunities. Listen, scratch out treatment, equal opportunities. So basically, the same type of programs that they have in the suburbs, we should be having out here in the hoods. I'm gonna also add to the parents. A lot of these parents need to appreciate when programs like this get brought into our neighborhoods.
But what does it mean? It means that we're serving thousands of children through extended day and extended year in 25 schools, and that includes 5 charters, and we are going to continue building on that momentum. I'm also very excited about the partnership with the district because it was integral in our developing the first of its kind in the nation with our city college for municipal employment. That's what we refer to as CCME, that allows students to train at the Community College of Philadelphia for good paying city government jobs. I don't know about you and Dr. Watlington and President Streeter. When I was growing up, it was viewed upon as a plus.
But Mayor Sherelle Parker, I have a question. Why is it only for 25 schools that y'all got these programs, right, and 5 charter schools, when Philadelphia, right, contains of a total of 219 schools and 1,018.335 students? The district's minority enrollment is 90%. But y'all only giving programs to 25 schools out of 219 schools? Huh. Why? Why? Then y'all budget is $4.3 billion, right? That's what y'all budget is amongst 219 schools with 118,335 students in it. I mean, amongst all schools together combined.
If you were trained and had access to the opportunity to become a local, state, or federal government employee, because those roles were essential. And we have to make sure that folks know that it is still essential and something that we should be proud of to gain employment with the city of Philadelphia. So give CCME a round of applause, please. This other issue, too, that I want to mention, I want to say this to you, and you're going to hear more about this when I give my budget address in March, but I'm laser focused on this, and my focus has not just started. It's something that I worked on when I was in the city council and even in the state house, and that is district teacher retention and recruitment. Few things are more important to children than having quality educators who stay with them and help them grow and develop. I am 53 years old, and my English teacher from high school still calls me and gives me instructions. Her name is Jeanette Jimenez. The most recent text that I received from her read capital EAGLES, exclamation point.
Yo, I'm dead. But see, she's got to have a good sense of humor because she laughing at her ass misspelling Eagles. Yo, she went viral for misspelling Eagles. I'm sitting here like, damn, Sherelle, like, come on, man. Like, you is the leader of our city.
And I said, Jeanette, I am never too old to learn. But with that being said, I want you to know that we really are privileged to work with a young man, Dr. Watlington. You and I participated in the conference that took place in our city not long ago. A gentleman by the name of Sharif El Mekki from the Center for Black Male Educator Development, a visionary leader who has long been in the trenches in this fight for teacher retention and recruitment. And I just want to say, Sharif, I hear you. I knew and I know what was standard for me, and we need to work hard and being intentional about that. And as we continue to tackle these crucial issues, we are moving responsibly to address the state of school buildings. Chief Deputy Mayor Vanessa Garrett Harley is not here. Jessica is here from her team, but Superintendent Watlington and President Streeter, we're going to do things decently and in order. And when we should have been, innovative about 10 to 15 years ago, when these tough discussions had to occur to think about the future, we didn't have the model that you all have recently outlined. And our administration, I'm really looking forward to working with you. I've got to say this to them, State Senator Vincent Hughes, our Speaker Joanna McClinton, and our Appropriations Chairman Jordan Harris. Give them a round of applause, please, because this doesn't move. None of this activity moves when it comes to school facilities without them. Finally, my administration is committed to the intergovernmental collaboration that is necessary to develop this facilities plan to guide us over the next 20 years. And we have to do it from the ground up. It has to start with community, our students, their parents, their caretakers, the district, local, state, and federal government.
So Philly, you hear it, man. We need more parents. Like it starts within us. We're the people. Like if we come and talk to them, we can sit here and try to get past some policies, some laws. Like these are the people we got to come and talk to. Like I know this is the mayor of my city, right? I don't know who the mayor is, right? I don't know where y'all watching from, but I don't know who your mayor is from your city, right? But that's the person you got to go to. Have a real conversation with this person. Pitch a good, I don't even know how to say it because it's, write something down, write a good pitch and pitch it out to them. Convince them of why they should do what you're asking them to do.
So for my administration, in partnership with Council President Kenyatta Johnson and all members of City Council, we all continue to stand united in our support for the School District of Philadelphia under your leadership, Dr. Watlington, under your governance leadership, President Streeter. And I know some of you may think that is the norm. But when I've been here now, a little over a year, and I've talked to mayors and superintendents at different activities and conferences.
I'm sorry, I had to pause it. When she took her glasses off, for 1 second, I thought I was watching Keenan from Keenan and Kel. Yeah, she resembles Keenan. Like, damn, a little. She resembles.
U.S. Conference of Mayors, National League of Cities. Dr. Watlington, I didn't know that every mayor and every school district superintendent is not joined at the hip with the board chair, but there will be no divide and conquer and no division among the three of us, along with our council president, along with our legislative leaders in Harrisburg, because if we did allow a divide and conquer strategy to move us apart and not hammer out much needed compromise to address seemingly intractable and problems that seem insurmountable to overcome, we wouldn't be what you hear me talk about with that one Philly, a united city. And it's more than a slogan. It's not a slogan for me. It's a goal about how we deliver service, about how we strategically work together, about how we leverage these roles and these seats that.
So basically, you're trying to get the city of brotherly love to be brotherly loved again. You're trying to get them to, go from a circle to a heart. Ah, ya entiendo.
we have to deliver for the people we represent. Now, I've got to leave as soon as I get finished, but I can't go without seeing all of you put a 1 in the air for me.
What?
And I can see in the back a little bit.
Put your glasses back on.
Let me hear you all repeat after me and say, one Philly.
One Philly.
A united city.
A united city.
I am a former teacher and you were terrible. Can you do it again, please? Let me hear you all say, one Philly. A united city.
For real?
Proud to work with you, Doc, and President Streeter. Thank
Here's
you.
Sherelle Parker. This is what I got to tell you about Philly.
If I knew then what I know now, sometimes I wonder, would I be the same or would I be different?
All right, y'all. So far we reviewed and reacted to current events that are happening, within our schools, right? I've heard a little bit of what Cheryl Parker from Philly, Sherelle Parker. I keep saying Cheryl Parker. Sherelle Parker from Philly, right? Our mayor from Philly had to say, right? That with our schools, I feel as though, right, they should put more funds into it. Like if they want to spend this whole time sending money to Ukraine, they sent millions of billions of dollars to Ukraine. And I was shocked the first time they told me that shit. Because I was in one of the meetings and I asked, I wanted to get funds for these cameras, right? And they said that if I wanted to do that, that I would have to start like a fundraiser or something, right? And get the stuff to put and get approved and get these cameras into our schools, right? Because where the funds were going. I mean, if y'all, instead of sending these funds out over there, y'all could have been sending these funds here and better supporting our schools, better funding our schools, helping these teachers that do care, right? And getting rid of the teachers that are nothing more than just predators, leeching on our kids in these schools. Something has to get done. I've made my stand. I've stood up and I'm still standing up. I'm still fighting. No matter what, a shorty's not giving up. I'm not going to quit. Y'all want to know why? Because it took a lot. I had to let go of so much in order to quit my soul, to get ready for this fight, this war that's coming my way. Because believe it or not, I'm not going to stop this. Like I tell everybody, I stand for something and I fall for nothing. And I will die for what I believe in. I will give my last breath for what I believe in. Because I know for a fact that what I'm fighting for, the fight is going to continue even when I'm not here. I have a lot of people behind me. Do I have enough? No. But if one day, God forbid it, I shall leave this earth, right? Leave this vessel behind, right? I do know that there's people that's going to step in my place. That for a fact, I do know. That's why, like, when people ask me, why don't you become a mayor? Nah, when the time is right, then I'll do it. But this is not the right time. Right now, I feel as though I'm still observing. I'm still learning some more. And then to top it off, right, to get up there, you can't go up there broke because they'll get you out fast as hell, especially with the type of ideas that I have. These type of ideas are the type of ideas that they censor people for. So we got to get a little realistic. A shorty is preparing herself. And I like, fighting the war from out here because I get to have, both feet in the mud on both sides. 1 foot in these streets, helping out the communities, and 1 foot in politics, trying to make that change and a difference for our communities as a leader of my community. Like, something got to get done. Y'all want to quit? Y'all can. But one thing I could tell you is, right, don't wait too late because one day the devil might come knocking at your door, right? And you won't even be able to get that story out. That's the crazy part about it, yo. Something got to get done. Can we make a change? Yes. But we're not going to do it until we believe that we could do it, right? Until we make it happen. And change doesn't happen until, it starts with us. We're going to have to figure it out, right? Individually as humans coming together. But on that note, guys, let us surely know what y'all think about today's live, right? About the video clips that we watched, reviewed, and reacted to. Give y'all, let us surely know how y'all feel and what y'all think, right? And leave your comments down below, man. These situations are, I know these topics are very touchy. A lot of people don't want to talk about it. These are open panels, right? People are more than welcome to come up, right? Talk with a shorty, right? Have a conversation with a shorty, not a debate. Because listen, when it comes to these schools, right? I have conversations, bringing solutions to the table. We're not debating solutions because we're trying to help, not make the situation worse. But anyways, with that being said, this is your shorty Rachel. Till next time, a shorty out.
In the face of darkness, I stand tall and strong. With faith as my shield, I'll keep marching on. You may try to bring me down, you may try to silence me, but the warrior in me will never give up. You'll see, through trials and tribulations, I'll keep the fight alive. With courage in my heart, I will continue to strive. You may throw obstacles in my way, try to make me fall, but the warrior in me will rise above it all. My heart won't break, it's a muscle strong. Though used and abused, it still goes on. In this world,
nose grew. It's just that, in real life, their noses don't grow. Karma just catch